is an indicator.
Yeah, of course,
of that. Yes,
they had the tax credits that contributed to that.
But again, the Trans-Forcados pipeline, a steady export flow also helped their sales. That was a massive 318% jump in sales for Seplat. I'm sure the shareholders will be thinking of what to do with that news. So you think these are some news from the corporate side that investors are looking at, despite the fact that the common man on the street, his pocket is still as lean as...
Yeah, so purchasing power has not improved, but in terms of business, corporate earnings, that has improved largely. And on the fact that production has increased, some of all these corporates also increased prices, so that's going to also contribute to the kind of earnings or the top line that we see in terms of growth.
So as an investor, I can trade this latest GDP?
Yes.
Or I can invest on it?
Definitely. So in the next couple of days, we're testing some corporate release results. So we're going to see more corporate release results. And that's going to tell us that the results we're going to see are going to be a bit strengthening. We're going to see good results. And of course, good results also means good dividend. So we're going to see fantastic dividend. And also to mention that Nigeria, on a PE perspective, is still relatively more attractive than its peers. So when you look at some emerging market peers, some frontier peers, Nigeria is still attractive. So in terms of valuations, attractive. In terms of businesses, you mentioned the PMI data as well. Above 50 shows that producers' confidence is increasing or improving. So, largely, I think the equity market owes the aces. But in terms of money market, fixed income instruments, I expect yields to at least taper down a bit. And of course, in line with the government borrowing plan, they plan to do more of foreign borrowing than domestic borrowing this year. Of course, and CBN has also mentioned that they plan to bring down interest rates sometime this year. I don't think that's going to be very soon. So in terms of markets, equity markets probably is going to outperform the other asset classes, talking about traditional asset classes. But real estate, like I said, which is not a traditional asset class, of course, is still very much in the woods.
Look at the fixed income. Are you surprised at what the central bank did yesterday? Oh.
Yeah, I was surprised. For the 1 year...
Your report says, without notice, the central bank just shaved the amount.
They plan to raise about over 200 billion, and they just reduced to 50 billion. So, of course, we expect some activity in the market today. So, a lot of folks that couldn't get yesterday, they are going to be in the secondary market today.
But with the mature treasuries repayment today, liquidity in the market will still be... We're looking at almost 110 billion naira repaid, mature treasuries being translated into cash today in the system.
Yes. So usually we expect CBN to do OMO auction today to mop up that excess liquidity. Because they're going to see a lot of activity. A lot of folks that went into the auction yesterday that couldn't get. In terms of the subscription, we had over 200 billion subscription, and they raised just 50 billion. Even though
the rate went down to about 11.5 for thereabout?
Well, for the 1 year was 13.5. Previous auction was 13.7.
Yes.
1 year, 11%, like you said. And the 1 is today was 12.
Oh, we're looking at yields closing a little bit lower.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the broad yield.
Yes, the curve. I'm beginning to see from 14 to 13 to 12, now around 11.8.
Yeah, you're right. And what we say is that if CBN even wants to bring down yields, they can do that. They don't even need to bring down NPL. So I know a lot of times analysts, investors have their mind fixed at the NPL. But CBN, through its open market operations, can actually bring the interest rate, which was what we saw in December. So what they did was that they created a sort of artificial scarcity. People were expecting them to issue OMO, do primary auction, which they didn't do. So at the next auction, people didn't mind the rate. People kidding, whatever the rate was. So if CBN wants to really bring down rates, they are going to do that. But of course, they are mindful of the real return in terms of what inflation is speaking to at the moment.
I'm seeing something going on behind closed doors here. I'm not sure if you're seeing it. Because if rates are going this way and inflation is also trending around 13 lower, it looks like the central bank is pushing that convergence somewhat here, so that by the time you have an MPC and you have an interest rate cut, it looks like something is going on behind the curtains. We need to find out. But if you look at the market since the year started, between the economy and the market, do you think we've had a good start of 2017 so far? 60 days already done?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. 13.3% gain just January and February. If you analyze that, that's like over 70% return year to, if you analyze that, which is quite impressive. Of course, as we start to see corporate earnings, we expect to see at least a bit of uptick in some select stocks, which is really the trend around earnings seasons. For this year, I think the market is going to do about 20-25%, which is pretty much decent. So yes.
You guys are still optimistic about that numbers. February was very, very upsetting. So I thought that maybe we lost it.
No.
Or it's too early?
Yeah, it's too early to say.
It's too early to call?
Yeah.
To say over there. So do you think this 2% and above, 2+% yesterday is a bit of a wake-up call or a comeback call for the equity side?
Well, I think it was like an overreaction. So one, I think, was on the back of the news that we saw 2 days ago, the GDP figures. Of course, what that speaks to is the fact that we're going to expect strong corporate earnings when the results starts coming out. So investors are already keying in ahead of the earnings. Some investors already keyed in January. So really, people are keying in ahead of the earnings releases. Okay. Because sometimes it might be too late when you key in after the results have been released. Yes,
so we'll continue with that. So we've seen a bit from Total, a few of the mid-cap or small stocks. They had a big one yesterday from Seplat.
Yeah.
Do you think that is kind of teeing off the big news that we've been waiting since the end of last year?
Well, Seplat's result was fantastic. But in terms of market performance, it's not going to be all the sectors. So there are going to be some key sectors that we're going to see interesting numbers from.
Okay. Tell us the sectors. Where will they come from?
So looking at the GDP figures and looking at how sectors are performing generally, we expect to see agri sector perform, at least the stocks there perform relatively well. At least we have two notable ones there, Okomo and Presco, yeah. And of course, on the back of the government's FX policy, which has been stable, that's positive for them. Also, we've seen them do backward integration plan as well, and also import substitution, which is positive for their numbers as well. And for the banking sector as well, it's not going to be broad-based, not going to be across all the banks. But when some of these sectors start to do well, in terms of the loan, we're going to see a bit of loan recovery. We're going to see a bit of write-backs in the bank. NPLs are going to reduce as well. So for select names, the big tiers, which are more resilient, we're expecting to post positive earnings. And for the tier 2, might be such of a struggle, but for the tier 1 banks, we expect to see fantastic results and decent dividend. In the consumer space as well, we're going to see decent recovery and decent earnings. So what we saw last year was the consumer confidence began to improve. In terms of purchasing power, that also improved as well. So a lot of the consumer companies, they increased prices, and of course, that also increased their revenue. So for the likes of Nestle, of course, we're going to see positive numbers from Nestle. PZ, neither you're there. But generally, in the consumer space, we're going to see positive numbers. But I think investors to do a bit of cherry picking. It's not going to be broad-based, but some select stocks are going to hold the
ace. Do you think oil and gas will have a bit of that, a slice of the pie of the 2017?
Well, for the oil and gas, it's majorly downstream. And of course, the downstream was challenged for 2017. Still pretty much challenged. We saw Total's number not too impressive, although they still pay dividend. So I think that's probably going to set a theme for a lot of oil and gas stories. Seplat is in E&P, which is different from
the rest of the pack.
Yeah. So for the oil and gas space, I'm not so optimistic.
Not so optimistic. Okay, let's leave it there for today. I'm sure we'll have a lot more to talk about in the days ahead. We'll talk about Japan still rallying. Yeah. That looks like
the PE story.
Yeah, the PE story. Yeah. That stock is now climbing above 50 kobo, and I was surprised. Went down almost as 30.
Close at
54 yesterday.
Yeah.
The news good news. We can use some good news here, can't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, we can. We can use some good news. Thanks for bringing some of those news
into
perspectives here on Business Morning. We thank you, everyone, for watching. Let's take a break. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll continue the conversation right from here. You're watching Channels Television, Nigeria's news leader. I'll see you tomorrow.